How you doing, guys? I'm back here with another review. This time I'm doing the Ice Genie, the ice cube Genie that you pour water in here and make little ice cubes. So let's take a look at this product. I got my Ice Genie off of Amazon for $10, and I'm going to show you how it came packaged. It came with no directions. So it came with no directions. It just came in this box here. Little sticker on there, made in China. That's it. This is all that's inside it. No directions, nothing explaining how to use it, what it is, nothing with a name on it or anything. So needless to say, I had to check out some YouTube videos to even see how I'm supposed to use it. So from those videos, looks like you just pour some water in here, stick it in the freezer, and then you're gonna squeeze it to crack those out of there and pull this plastic piece out, and then you have to make another batch. To fill this up, you need to do that like 3 times. So we're gonna try it at least once to see how well it works, how easy this is to do, and see if it's worth it. So first thing, from what I've seen on the video, if you do get directions, so just because I didn't doesn't mean you're not going to get directions. Just to let you know, if you get it and there's no directions in there, don't be surprised, because mine came with absolutely nothing. So from what I've seen on some YouTube videos is this plastic piece, to get out the first time is difficult. It even says in the directions you need to turn it counterclockwise to try to get it to come out of here. And from everyone I've seen struggle with this. I think after the first time it pops out a lot easier. Headway with this. Oh, it's coming a little bit, it's moving. I hope it's easier after this first time, because this is a pain in the butt. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so I got the plastic piece out. This is what it looks inside. It's dirty and it smells, so I'm gonna go rinse it out, and then we'll fill it up with some water and stick it in the freezer. Alright, so I got my Ice Genie washed out. There's a look in there. Still kind of smelly. It's, you know, silicone rubber. It's not the most pleasant smelling. I'm sure as you use it and you wash it, I assume you could stick this in the dishwasher. I'm not 100% sure, because again, I got no directions or anything with mine, so. But I would assume this would go in the dishwasher if you choose to continue to use this thing. But we'll try this thing out and then we'll decide on that later. So let's get the plastic cylinder stuck back in here. And from what other videos said, you need to check the bottom to make sure it's touching the bottom, because you're gonna put the water on the outside and you don't want it leaking through. So it's in there, and now, if you can tell, there's some little holes here. That's where you're going to fill it up with water, and the water will sit in these little bubbles here and freeze, and that's what makes the ice. So I got my water here. I got 2 cups of water in here, so we're going to see how much of this goes down, how much actually fills up this. So let's fill her up. Okay, so attempt number 1 to fill up the outside. You saw I got a little inside the middle there, and filled up fairly easily, but upon looking at it now, I can see the water is no longer sitting up here. It's all in the bottom. So I'm gonna empty this out, try to push the cylinder down a little more, because apparently I didn't have it all the way down, and see if we can get it to work. So let's go dump this out and try again. Okay, so I got my Ice Genie emptied, and I'm going to push the cylinder down a little more. I mean, it feels tight. I can't get it to go down anymore. It's not going to go down any more than this. So we'll see if the water stays up in these cylinders, these little circles again, to make the ice. That first time I filled it up, you can see I had 2 cups in there. It used about 1/4 of a cup worth of water. So let's go ahead and fill it up again and try this process one more time. Okay, so I got it filled, and I don't know if you can see the water sitting in there. Let me try to zoom in on it. So, and if you see, the water level is going down. So the water is actually leaking out into the bottom again. Let's see if it stops somewhere here. All right, it seems to have stopped right. Looks like it stopped right there. So let's put some more water in it and see if it stays. Okay, from the time that I walked around from the camera, it's already down below the top circle. So what I'm gonna do is fill it up again and run and put it in the freezer. So far all I'm doing is getting a little puddle of water in the bottom. I mean, this shouldn't be this hard to use. I mean, I could have already filled up an ice tray and stuck it in the freezer, 2 to 3 ice trays, and been freezing all those at once. Instead, I'm playing around trying to get the water to stay in here because it's leaking out from underneath the cylinder. And I know everyone's gonna say, you didn't push it down hard enough. I'm pushing. I mean, what am I supposed to do to get this thing down? I mean, I'm pulling the sides up. I mean, really, it's gotta be this complicated and this hard to get this. So I'm gonna pour this excess out. Try this one more time. We're gonna try to fill it up one more time here and run and get it in the freezer. And I have a feeling all I'm gonna have when I come back in a few hours is a big circular thing of ice sitting at the bottom of this. Okay, the lid is on, the water's in there. Let's take it down to the freezer. Okay, I got my ice genie here. I have the freezer. Just gonna set it right in here. Let this go ahead and freeze for a few hours. Then we'll come back and check it out and see how well it works. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours since I put the ice genie in the freezer. So let's check it out and see if it actually worked. First impressions, I mean, this thing it's cold, really cold. So let's get the cap off. And just looking in here, looks like the water did freeze, so, and I don't think I have a little bit of frozen water on the bottom, but there is a spot where it pushed right through to the rubber, so it didn't completely all leak out this last time we tried it. So at least it did seem to work. All right, so from the non-instructions that I got, from what I've seen on video, online, you need to squeeze it first before pulling out plastic. So give it a good squeeze, crack that ice, and let's see if we can't get, you got the water that stayed on top frozen here. Let's see if we can't get this cylinder out of here. This is a process just to make ice cubes. Okay, it's turning, so let's, all right, there's the cylinder. We got some chunks of ice down there. Now you just give it a squeeze. get... So here's the bottom that I was talking about. So I got this piece. And a bunch of mush. I mean, this is what your ice... Let's see. They're not pretty ice cubes, that's for sure. They all have little, I don't know if you can tell, it's hard to hold on to them, little spokes coming out because each of these little circles in here is connected. There's not much ice here. I've got like this might be enough for a glass, a pop. I mean, and then obviously this thing. So I got a handful of ice here. 3 hours for that little bit of ice that I got here. Not pretty ice cubes. It's supposed to take 3 of these, do it 3 times to fill this up. I have that much ice in the bottom of that. So my second time, third time, fourth time, take me about 5 times to fill up this little jug of ice. I could have filled this up with probably, I'd say 2, maybe 3 ice cube trays that I could have already had frozen in one try over this silly... I mean, what is the point of this? I'm not even gonna go do it again or 2 or 3 more times. It's just, it's... To make ice, this is a process, a dumb process. The only thing I can see this really being worthwhile is... Get these stupid ice cubes out of the way. Putting this in here, goes in easily the second time. Putting this in here, filling it up with water, say you had a bottle of wine or something, it could sit right in there, and then you have those ice cubes around here that's keeping it frozen. That's about the only thing I see this good for. Making ice cubes? No. Unless you want to use these little tiny... If you want to take several hours to get a couple glasses of ice made, buy yourself the Ice Genie. Otherwise, go to the store, get, you know what, $1 an ice tray maybe. 2 or 3 ice trays, you're going to make bigger cubes a lot faster. You can freeze them all at once instead of having to fill this up. Make sure it's all the way stuck in there, which you saw. It took several times to even get the water to stay in here. Freeze it for several hours, crack it, pull it out to get enough for maybe a glass. Do it again. Making ice with the Ice Genie is dumb. Don't buy it if you're looking to make ice. If you want it as a, say, a wine holder or champagne or some other sort of beverage you're going to put in here to keep cold and freeze around it, I guess it's worth the $10 maybe for that. I don't know, but if you're buying it to make ice, I think you're going to be really disappointed with this. Is garbage. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this now. I don't drink wine, so I'm not going to freeze it and use it for wine. It's going to go in the garbage or get stuck somewhere. It's a waste of money. My opinion, don't buy the Ice Genie. Just go buy some ice trays. You're better off spending your money on something else. That was a big bust.